So I was at the beach the other day and I came across a young couple. They looked like they were pretty new in their relationship. She had the starry googly eyes and he had that prideful stance of showing off. And I was reminded of me 30 years ago when I first got into relationships and dating. And I didn't start dating until very late in my teen years. And I remember me doing those same googly eyes and that sort of, stereotypical feminine fawning, to appear interesting to the male. And the male being all like stoic and prideful and just I'm the man and the ego really shining through. And then thinking how lucky I was to feel all the butterflies in my stomach and to feel like the wistfulness and giggity, like giggly, and everything was just so fun. Not like fun. It almost like it sounds so fake, but it was so fun. And I was so happy to, be in a relationship and partake in the social convention of romance and dating and all that stuff. Pass by 30 years later at 48. And I'm watching the couple with very, very different set of eyes. And while I do see that youthful playfulness on her part, I didn't see any on him. He was all about the image. And he did all the little things that you don't notice when you're first centering yourself around a male, but comes to the foreground quite strongly as you go deeper into the relationship with him. All the little things like him walking ahead all the time, him withholding affection in public, him being loud, him making sure that his guys are getting his time, him boasting and laughing and telling these great stories, him not looking at her directly in the eye, him when they part ways not giving any sign of acknowledgement and just ready to go back to the boys or to whatever, while she's sitting there, standing there, just waiting and craving that final goodbye, something that shows I can't wait to see you again. And her looking up at him while acting really small, while he looks away, acting bigger than he is. And I watch this, and I can see how the relationship unfolds with this young couple. She is going to center her life around this man, and she's going to lose herself. and he will not reciprocate. And so there goes another patriarchal heterosexual relationship where they go into a relationship and all the stereotypical standards apply. She gives and gives and gives, and fawns and fawns and fawns, and gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And he builds more and more and more narcissistic traits. Because he now has conquered the woman and put her under his control. Somewhere down the line, 20, 30 years later, hopefully less for this couple, she will wake up, and it might be a nasty wake up. She could come down severely ill. Something traumatizing could happen in her life. He could turn more and more aggressive or more and more distant. Something will happen, and she'll realize that she's lost all these years by putting the man in the center of her life. And that is the topic of today's matriarchal sermon. We need to de-center the male and re-center the female. And the reason I discuss this is not just because of this cautionary tale of this couple I happened to see on the beach, although I bet you can probably come up with many, many more when you watch the world go by. It is so common, so common. But it's not just about that, although it is, because I don't want to see women lose their lives anymore. It's sad. It's frustrating. And when you're sitting there in middle age and you've lost your identity and you've lost your stability, it's really fucking hard to start over again. Especially if you gave up work for the man. Especially if you have kids to take care of. Especially if you become ill. Especially if you're isolated and you lost your support system. You are starting at a point far from negative, like far from zero. At 18 years old, you're just starting out in the world. You have so much at your doorstep. Energy-wise, opportunities, freedom. To get out of the trap. And in midlife, there's just so many more things that you've got to deal with. Nuclear marriage, the patriarchal romance, it purposely designs relationships to ensnare, to trap the young woman and deplete her of her resources so that she loses herself enough that she just stays trapped in the relationship. Or when she finally finds a moment of liberation, however it comes, and she wants to go, she now has a caravan full of responsibilities to take with her, or struggles to take with her, or you name it. And it's just so much harder. It is so common to see older women, as they become more wise and they've had more experience in their midlife, start to really put themselves first and other women first. Wouldn't it be nice if we could do that for the young women just as they're starting out? It could save them half their lives. Can you imagine what they could do for society with all that youthful energy? Male-centered societies go against the natural order of living. Now I know there's going to be tons of people out there who are going to start screaming at me, oh, no, 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 now you're just reversing the patriarchal order of thinking, of hierarchy, where women are better than men. No. I'm trying to put things back to their rightful place. And the instant idea, the instant imagination going to woman on top, dehumanizing men in a matriarchy, just shows us how deeply tortured the patriarchy has conditioned us to believe, like how deeply tortured the patriarchy has done to us. Because our immediate thought goes to, wow, we're going to treat them as much as shit as they treated us. We can't do that. So do we just do nothing at all and continue this way? Or do we reframe fucking everything and think about, watch and observe, scientifically observe how Mother Nature works? This beautiful land that we live on, that literally gave us life. We cannot exist without a few minutes of its air. How are we meant to live in Mother Nature's paradigm? If you watch and you observe how she works, how trees become forests, how the acorn falls from the tree into the dirt, and without the life, the consciousness of the soil, it doesn't become anything. It's just an acorn. But through that, it can become another tree. How so many species out there, from the lions to the bears to the elephants to many monkey species, the chimp species, to whales, to you name it, how the leader of the community are the women, and when the predatory males are a threat, they literally call them and take them out because they are a threat to the future generations, to the homeostasis of the tribe. But the male, the good male, the men that protect, provide, share, contribute to the community, they're respected and honored. They're not humanized. They're not, destroyed by the female leaders of the clan. In a female-centered society, the laws of nature just work. And it works in the sense of balance, so no overindulgence and depletion. In the sense of an equal between life and death and not permanent growth to the point of destruction. In the sense of communication and care of the young and of the home, the land that they live on, in working in cohesion with all the other ecosystems, all the other tribes, not taking more to make your tribe have more, but to appreciate what everything works together, the circle of life. It's not a ladder of life, it's the circle of life, and how everything works together to make sure that it's all balanced. And at the center of it all is Mother Earth, the great sun, the universe, the stars, the wind, the fire, the seas. Everything on earth, if you look back to my first matriarchal sermon, everything on earth existed as XX, female, and all reproduction was done parthenogenetically, which is female producing female. It wasn't until later in evolution that the male deviation came into play. In our wombs, we all start in gestation as females until about 6 weeks, I believe. I'll get back to you on the number, the exact number on that, where the deviation to male can occur. Life in the early history of human-led societies, it was the females, the mothers, the sisters, the aunts, the daughters, the grandmothers in the clan that provided the home. And without that, there was nothing. What is a hunter without a home to provide for? What is a seed without the growing womb of the nutrients of the earth to grow it? I would love to see this biological, natural concept of female-centered installed into us as soon as we're born, and then forever taught, so that when we're 18, we're 16, 20, and we're ready to go out and explore the world, we don't become some googly-eyed fawn hoping to catch the males, hoping that we're worthy of his eye while he's looking elsewhere, walking in front of us and thinking, when can I go back to play with the guys? And then losing 20 years of our life. Can you imagine what we can do for generations of young women if instead of teaching them to fawn for their relationships and to work for the purpose of patriarchal version of success in the workplace and to fulfill patriarchal roles in society and government and healthcare and teaching and education and everything, what women could do as a young adult and the rest of her life with firm matriarchal values deeply rooted in her. What could she do? How could she transform society? Returning to matriarchy, returning to female-centered living allows us to regain, rediscover that inner primal power and instinct and drive to live a life to its fullest capacity and to a sense of wholeness and a sense of wildness. That we then can turn and provide for future generations. I think Mother Nature would cheer us for that. I think all the species, all the animal species that have gone extinct and are endangered would cheer us for that. Please remember when people say the humans are the worst species, the humans are the most destructive. It's not humans, it's men. The history is the men doing it, the patriarchy doing it. Female-centered living, get rid of that? What can you do? What can we do every day? What choices can we make? What decisions can we make to be female-centered in our lives? When we start to make those decisions personally, that energy flows out. It just shows off of us. And other women pick up on it. And then they learn. And they continue and they do it, and so on. I remember this moment. I met a new friend, and like most women, she lived a very male-centered life. And we just got to talking. I met her at the dog park, and lovely, lovely woman. And we just got to talking. And I mentioned to her that I am going swimming one day. Would she like to go to the lake with me? And she just said, yeah, let's do it. She just moved to the area and she was looking for friendships, and I was happy to take her. So we went. And within those couple of hours, she gained an inner glow of being able to just freely exist without any obligations, just to be in the water and to be with someone else who wasn't going to expect anything of her. We ended up talking about a variety of things. And one of the topics was how I make a point now in my life to put myself first and to then put other women first and animals first and nature first. And I've decentered men completely in my life. And how liberating it is to feel that freedom to be able to just go to the lake when I can. I don't have kids, so I don't have that responsibility. But just to go. She doesn't have kids either. And something settled in her. I think for the first time in her life, or maybe just in a really long time, she stopped thinking about what she had to make for dinner, how her aging mom was doing at home, whether her husband needed her, whether the dog needed another walk, whether the project she was working on needed this or that. And just for like a couple of hours, it was just nothing but swimming and enjoying the company of another woman. And there was a shift in her energy. The idea, the possibility of, wow, you mean I can center myself? Wow, I can center women? Wow, I can just go out and play? She has this light in her eyes now. I think I planted a really important seed. I'm so happy and honored to have done it. When I first met her, of course, she didn't know me then. So everybody has your guard up when you don't know somebody, right? You put on the mask of civility, but not really trusting. So she had that. And now when I see her, it's like it goes away. And there's a smile. I'm not anyone special. I didn't do anything godlike. I just gave her an opportunity to put the patriarchy down and put herself up. That's it. I want to see women do this for women all over. Female-centered living. It's time to decenter the male, and it's time to recenter the female. I hope you enjoyed today's matriarchal sermon. I didn't do any reading today, I just told stories. Let me know what you think about that. You can please like, share, and subscribe to grow this channel. If you want to donate to support me, I will put my PayPal link in the comments, and you can send some money that way. I would really appreciate it. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments. You can visit my website at www.healingfromharm.com, and also find me on various social media sites under the name Returning to Her. Yeah, hi, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the sermon, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, and it was nice chatting with you again. Have a good night.